Do you see the way this barbecue turkey just comes right off of the bone? Honey, you know you got to make this. Today I am going to show you how to make a full soul food meal with barbecue turkey, sausage, rice, and pigeon peas, smashed candied yams, and some soul food cabbage. Welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Let's go ahead and get cooking. Now, the night before, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my turkey brine with water, salt, sugar, a bay leaf, some Chicago steak seasoning, a little bit of accent, aka MSG, okay, use it if you like it, and just a touch of molasses. And if you didn't know, that's how you make brown sugar. So if you don't have molasses, just use brown sugar instead. I'm going to let this dissolve, and then I'm going to add 2 cups of cold water to cool this down, and then allow this to completely cool. Now, I have 9 turkey legs in a pan that is way too small, honey. So I transferred this into an old ice container that was a bit deeper, and then I covered this up with foil. I put this under a cookie sheet, and I left this in the fridge overnight. Now, I know some of you guys might think that's a lot of salt and sugar, but remember, this is a brine, so it's going to get deep down into all of the turkey meat, and I promise you it will not be over seasoned if you do it the way that I'm showing you how to do it. I'm going to dump out all of the brine and all of the turkey legs into a colander the next morning, and I'm going to start to rinse them very well. I'm just rinsing them enough to get off some of the excess salt, but the little bits of pepper and things stuck to the turkey wings, or the turkey legs, really is not a big deal. But you could actually use wings for this recipe. You could also use chicken pieces if you want. I'm then going to dry them, and then I'm going to put them on the pan so that I can season them. If you've been enjoying this video so far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see weekly recipes on this channel. Now, to season our turkey legs, I'm going to go in with 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, and then about a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of chipotle pepper powder, a tablespoon of a kicked up chicken seasoning. I got that from Aldi, and about a half a teaspoon of thyme, and a tablespoon of white pepper powder, but black pepper is also okay. Now, something to note is that none of these have sodium, or they're super low sodium. You do not need to add any salt or very salty seasonings to your turkey legs at this point because we've done that brine. Rub in those seasoning really well, and then we're going to make a broth to go in the bottom of each one of the dishes. I'm just going to add about half a teaspoon of chicken bouillon to a cup of water. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of this W sauce because y'all know I don't know how to say it, okay? And then I'm going to mix this together with about 4 cloves of fresh minced garlic. And I'll be adding just a little bit of fresh thyme leaves just for a fresh herbal note. But this is totally optional, and it's because I already have it in my garden. Then I'm going to take this liquid and I'm going to divide it evenly between the 2 pans that I have. This liquid is going to help keep your turkey very juicy because I don't baste it all. I just cover this and allow it to cook on its own. Now, I first cooked this at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes just to give it a little color and to let it get a little bit of toastiness on the spices. And then I went in with about 3 tablespoons of butter. I divided it between the turkey legs. I wrapped each one of these pans in foil, and I let it cook at 325 degrees for 3 hours undisturbed. I don't go in and baste it. I just let it do what it's going to do. I'm going to start working on these candied yams by peeling my sweet potatoes with this little peeler. Now, if you don't have one of these and you still use a knife to trim the skins off your potatoes, you better go to the dollar store, okay? But make sure you bring an extra quarter because, you know, dollar store went up, and get you one, okay? You're going to save some extra potato. You're going to lose less. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to thinly slice my sweet potatoes, all of them. And I have about 3 pounds of sweet potatoes that I have done. But do any amount that you want. Into my pan, I'm throwing a whole stick of salted butter. The whole stick, honey. With half of a cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to allow this to melt just a little bit. Then I'm taking this vanilla bean infused maple syrup that I got from Costco. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. This stuff is delicious. It's going to add a wonderful flavor to your yams if you can get your hands on it. Then I'm going to allow all the butter and the sugar to melt thoroughly until it's bubbly. Then I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, enough cinnamon until my mixture is brown. Okay, I just shook it up in there. And then I'm going to put a little nutmeg for a little flavor. Okay, and then I'm going to mix it all. Now, candied yams mean you have to candy, okay, the sugar and the butter. So I'm going to allow this to cook for just about 2 minutes or so, constantly stirring it till it gets a little bit caramelized. Then I'm going to put in a capful of baking vanilla and just a little bit of lemon extract. It gives your candied yams a wonderful flavor. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in the yams. Do not add any liquid. The yams have enough liquid on their own. I'm going to turn my heat to low. I'm going to cover this and I'm going to allow this to cook undisturbed for about 35 minutes. Now, after that time, my yams are thoroughly cooked, but I'm going to smash them, so I want a little bit less liquid. If you don't want to do that, you really can stop here. So I'm going to cook them uncovered for about 5 minutes just to thicken the sauce at the bottom. Now, the old heads, don't go in and roast me in the comments saying I done ruined some perfectly good yams. This is just what I'm doing today, all right? I'm just going to lightly mash them until they have a texture, but this is not as smooth as mashed potatoes at all. And guys, this is delicious. If you only have yams one way, try it this way. I'm sure you would like it. I'm going to do the pigeon pea rice. Y'all are going to love this. This has 3 slices of bacon. It has some hot sausage in it, as well as 2 cups of jasmine rice. I have already washed this thoroughly. I have diced up half an onion, half a bell pepper, and 1 stalk of celery. You know, that holy trinity. Amen. All right. Now, this got a lot of seasonings in it. Okay. So this is my pigeon peas. But if you don't, you're not familiar with pigeon peas, you can use black eyed peas. That would also work. I got my sazon tropical. I have some tomato chicken bouillon, this ham bouillon, as well as some beef bouillon, some green seasoning, and some garlic. I'm going to drain out the liquid from the green pigeon peas into my measuring cup. And then I'm going to add enough liquid so that this is 3 cups of liquid. The liquid in the can gives it a lot of flavor, so don't throw that away. Now I'm going to start by cooking my bacon, and then I'm going to add half of the roll of sausage. Now, if you don't do pork, you are more than welcome to use turkey bacon and also turkey sausage. But if you're using turkey sausage, I would add maybe about 3/4 of the roll because it doesn't have quite as much fat. So I think you could add more of it. Then I'm going to put in all of my veggies, and I'm going to put in my green seasoning and my garlic as well. And I'm going to allow this to cook on its own for about 3 minutes. I'm going to put the lid on to let that happen so the veggies can soften. Then I'm going to go in with my pigeon peas. And I'm going to also start to add in my seasonings. Now, you're going to see me add a lot, but remember, I didn't add any broth to this. This is essentially going to make up all of the flavor. You want the liquid that you have in this rice to taste highly seasoned, okay? You may even think it's a little overdone, but trust me, rice is bland. So when you taste it, it's not going to taste overdone. I'm putting in 1.5 teaspoons of the tomato chicken, as well as the beef bouillon, and 1 teaspoon of this sazon tropical. If you don't have all of these bouillons, I would say do a mixture of chicken bouillon and beef, and that will still give you a great flavor. But again, you want it to taste very seasoned. To give it a little bit of color, I'm putting in about 1/2 teaspoon of browning, but that's optional for this recipe. I'm going to mix all of this together, and then I'm going to go in with my water. I'm going to let this come to a boil so that I can taste it to see if it tastes right. When it's seasoned correctly, I'm going to put in my rice. I'm going to let it come back up to a boil. Then I'm going to cover it and let this simmer on the lowest heat for about 20 minutes. Now it's time to work on that cabbage. I just love some soul food cabbage. And the way I do my cabbage, I like to keep it really simple, but it's still super flavorful. When you prep your cabbage, you have to take out that core because that tends to actually be really tough and a little bit bitter. Then I like to thin slice mine. You can do it yours to the thickness that you like. Now I'm going to add in about 3 slices of bacon. I'm just going to cut them up easy with some kitchen scissors. If you don't got none of those, go and get you some, because I just love those for easy use in the kitchen. And then I'm going to saute them till they're crispy and add in about half of a medium onion. And I'm going to saute that for about 3 minutes, just letting it get a little bit wilted. I'll add a pinch of salt just to help the onion sweat down, and a teaspoon of my salt-free Cajun seasoning. I'll saute that for another 30 seconds and then put in about 3 cloves of garlic that's been minced, and I'll saute that for about 30 more seconds as well until it's fragrant. And then dump in all your cabbage, baby. Now I know you're going to think it's going to be way too much cabbage for that bowl, but cabbage will shrink, dear. Go let the lid push it down. All right, I'm going to let it stay closed for about 3 minutes on low. And I'm going to put another one of these ham packets in there. It claimed that it seasons as much as 1/4 of a pound of smoked country ham. I don't know if that's true, but it do taste good, okay? I'm going to put about 1/4 of a cup of water in here just to make sure that no seasonings on the bottom burns. Then I'm going to add in this ham packet, and I'm just going to salt and pepper to taste. And dear, that is all I'm going to do to my ham. I'm going to cover it up, and I'm going to let this just steam until it's the tenderness that I like. Now, baby, this turkey though. Okay, let's talk about this turkey. This turkey at this point, after 3 hours, is so tender. But I'm going to put on that barbecue glaze. We're going to make some. So I'm going to pour out the juices from the turkey, and then I'm going to put in my barbecue sauce that I have. You just use your favorite. I'm going to put in about half of a cup. Then I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of this habanero honey mustard, but regular mustard is okay. You can see we doing a little, a little mixology over here. All right, with the barbecue sauce, I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of this honey and about a tablespoon of ketchup. You taste it to your liking. And y'all, this was some good barbecue sauce. I'm going to pour it over this turkey, and then I'm going to put this back in the oven at 375 for about 10 minutes, just so the turkey can get some color on them. You got to be super careful with the turkey at this stage, because I'm telling you, this turkey meat is just falling off of the bone good. Okay, and you can see it here. Honey. Look, this is so good. This is my cabbage that's been made. It's nice and tender. My pigeon pea rice is ready. That is so flavorful and delicious. And just look at everything we have here. Our smashed candied yams, our rice and peas, our turkey, our cabbage. Guys, this meal your family will go crazy over. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments, and God bless you. Just know that I love you, and I'll see you next time on Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye.